no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. If you're looking for the latest Raiders news, rumors, heck, even some NFL stuff around Colin Kaepernick, you're going to be in the right place. So there's been a lot of talk around Kaepernick. That's just the world that we're living in right now. So before I tell you whether or not the Raiders should sign him, I'm going to let you at least in a little bit on just the latest going around him. So Roger Goodell said that I encourage a team to go out and sign Kaepernick. This is very important. Why? Because Goodell is obviously, runs the NFL, and for somebody who has already kind of sued the NFL, hey, this is, I think, a big step if he would come back. Pete Carroll about 4 days ago said that he thinks that at least one team is interested in Colin Kaepernick, and then also Drew Rosenhaus yesterday said that he does believe that he's going to get signed. The issue is we haven't seen him play since 2016, and the last memories I have of Kaepernick are honestly not that good, just to be totally frank with y'all, because he did definitely take a step back. But from a career standpoint, over 12,000 yards, 72 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, that's great. Also, though, the rushing, right? His ability to be a solid passer, but then a very good runner is really what I think opened up his ability and why he was able to take a 49ers team all the way to the Super Bowl. But the one thing that I do want to really hit here is he's actually a pretty good passer. And some of those numbers would prove that also. So when you look at some of the quarterbacks here, best touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL history, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, right? Obviously, these guys are all still playing, and, I would probably say all 5 of these guys are a top 12 quarterback at least. The interesting stat that I really want to hit here with Kaepernick is, in Kaepernick's career, he's actually got a 2.40 to 1 interception. So for every 2.4 touchdowns he throws an interception. That's actually 6th best in NFL history. So for people that just say he's just a runner, I don't know if that's 100% true. I also don't know because we haven't really seen him play since 2016. So what do you think? Should the Raiders go out and sign Colin Kaepernick? If you're like, yes, Mitch, they should, I want you to type S for sign. If you're like, no, let's type P for pass. So really think about this show. I'm talking about news. I'm talking about rumors. We're switching it up a little bit. S for sign or P for pass. Should the Raiders sign Colin Kaepernick? I'm actually going to give this one 0 Chucky heads. I'm going to say tuck rule, tuck that. Why? Because if the Raiders go out and sign Kaepernick, he would be the Raiders' quarterback 3. I'm going to put Derek Carr over him. I'm going to put Marcus Mariota over him. Now, there are better options and opportunities for Cap. So if you're a Kaepernick supporter, if you want him back in the league, there are other teams that are going to be able to help him play sooner and I think make more money than the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, let's get one thing straight. It would be a cool story, but it just doesn't really make sense for either side. Now, if you're trying to sell tickets, well, Kaepernick would definitely help you do that. And if you're Colin and you're trying to get on television, I think the Raiders are going to be the most televised team this season. So from that standpoint, it makes sense. But from an actual X's and O's standpoint, no, it doesn't make any sense. Now, obviously, we have Derek Carr. Obviously, we have Marcus Mariota, who we went out and paid $7.5 million for this season. He can actually make up to $37.5 million. And remember, we also have Lynn Bowden and Nathan Peterman. So we're going to do a little game here, right? The Raiders Report is about conversation, and that's all I'm trying to do. Who's the better quarterback? Type DC for Derek Carr, or I want you to type CK for Colin Kaepernick. Now, I'll type my DC every single day of the week because I think the fact that we haven't seen Colin, and even when Colin was at his peak, I'll even take Derek Carr when he was at his peak. And here's their career stats. And remember, Colin is much more of a rusher than Derek ever probably will be. But in terms of fit for our offense, in terms of what I'm going to get this upcoming season, I am going to type my DC for Derek Carr. All I'm trying to do is create a little bit of conversation. If you get upset that I'm simply asking a question, it's not a me problem. Let's get one thing straight. It's a you problem. So here's the next question that I'll ask here. Better quarterback, Marcus Mariota or Colin Kaepernick? If you think Marcus Mariota is a better quarterback, I want you to type M. If you think Colin Kaepernick is a better quarterback, type K. Why is this important? Because if the Raiders do bring him in, honestly, I think the only way that they bring him in is if Jon Gruden and Mike Mayock say, yeah, Kaepernick is a better quarterback than Marcus Mariota. Now, I can already hear some people saying, well, Mitch, what if Colin goes back to playing the way he did in 2016? I can almost make the exact same argument about Marcus Mariota. What happens if Marcus Mariota goes back to the way that he played in 2016? Both mobile quarterbacks, but both kind of have struggled the last time we saw them play in the NFL. For me, the Raiders, Jon Gruden, are confident in Marcus, and so am I. As much as I think that if Colin were to be on our team, it would be fun and it'd be interesting. I mean, aren't we just hoping Colin Kaepernick would be exactly what Marcus Mariota is? So for me, that's why I'm still going to type my M. Now here's the last question I'll ask. Who's the better quarterback? Nathan Peterman, type N, or Colin Kaepernick? I want you to type C. The reason why actually here I will type C, and actually why I think Colin deserves to be in the NFL, because in my opinion, he's a top 90 player. And if Nathan Peterman, no offense to Peterman, deserves to be in the NFL, you can't really tell me that Colin Kaepernick doesn't deserve. Now, sure, money comes into a situation, and is Colin willing to take a little bit of a pay cut because he's not a starter anymore? But if you're just telling me straight up, hey, it's just talent, I think Colin Kaepernick has been able to prove that he is a better quarterback than Nathan Peterman, and honestly, I don't know of many quarterbacks that aren't better than Nathan Peterman. So my goal of today's show is, for one, to give you the lowdown on whether or not I think the Raiders should sign Kaepernick. That one's zero. Chuck, you had to tuck, we'll tuck that. But if you think that Kaepernick should be in the NFL, I do want you to share this video, on Twitter. So all you got to do is click the share button under the video. We'll also give you a step-by-step so it's a little bit easier. So help Colin get out there, and also I want you to help spread the love of the show for a little bit. So if you think Colin Kaepernick should be in the NFL again, I am going to ask for a little bit of help. I want you to go underneath the video, and I want you to click the share button. It literally looks like the logo on screen. Then, to make things a little bit easier, click the Twitter icon, and then just click tweet. If you want to at me, at Mitchell Renz 365, after the show, I'll like and I'll comment. We'll do all that. Spread the love if you think Colin Kaepernick should be in the NFL. Let's go to the next thing here, right? Because a lot of times people are like, Mitch, have you noticed that none of the Raiders rookies have signed yet? Yes, I have noticed. But I do want to say that it's nothing that I really would be all too worried about, because it's not just the Raiders problem. It's also basically an entire NFL problem. So all 7 of our rookies that we drafted in the first 4 rounds, none of them have been signed yet. But if it was any other year, I'd say yes, that'd be some cause for concern. But when you look at the rest of the NFL, the rookies have not signed yet. And about 70% of NFL draft picks remain unsigned. Okay, so let's just think about that. By my count. Now, if I'm off by 1, 2, 3 players, hey, y'all can at me. You know where to find me. By my count, 63 rookies have signed, okay? Last year, by June 12th, 222 rookies were signed. Why? Well, there was no COVID, and there was training camp. You were able to see a lot of different pieces and players moving on. The reason why that players aren't signing now is because the world that we're living in right now is something that none of these people have ever dealt with before. So the fact that none of the Raiders rookies have signed yet, am I concerned? No, honestly, not really. So who wants to come on the show? Y for yes and for no. So recently, on my Friday live shows, and yes, I will be live Friday, this Friday as well. Maybe we might have a special guest. We've been doing some Zoom calls, and I'm surprised how many people know what Zoom is, and I'm surprised how many people don't know what Zoom is. But if you want to come on the show via Zoom, I want you to type Y for yes or N for no. You're actually going to have an opportunity to come on the Raiders Report with me live on our show. So Y for yes, N for no. So this is how you're going to be able to come on the show next Tuesday, okay? June 23rd. All you got to do is buy one of the 2 T-shirts that I'm about to show you. So if you go to chatsports.com/RaidersWorld, it'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. If you buy this shirt for only $24.99 and then send me a receipt on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365, you get to come on the show. Or, since we've had that shirt on, I was like, you know what? I want to give them a new offer. If you buy this shirt, Raider Nation Las Vegas, by going to chatsports.com/Las Vegas for $24.99, again, in the description, in the comments, you will be able to come on the Raiders Report June 23rd during my live show on Tuesday. All you got to do, DM me a receipt on Instagram, whether you get it via your email, whether you just take a screenshot on your phone, send it to me on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, let's get back into this news and rumors, shall we? Let's talk about Henry Ruggs. And this one's from PFF, where they believe that Ruggs is going to lead all rookies in receiving yards. For me, I'm going to give this one only 2 Chucky heads. People are talking because I could see it, and then I could not see it, right? So in terms of it happening, Henry Ruggs was the very first wide receiver drafted. He definitely has the talent, and I think he's going to be used a lot. The reason why I give it only 2 Chucky heads is because I think this is going to be a run-first offense, and I think for us to win football games, it doesn't mean Henry Ruggs getting super high amounts of yards. But before I show you how many yards that PFF projects Ruggs to have, I do want you to put your projections in here, okay? So, how many receiving yards for Henry Ruggs in 2020? Earlier when we did this question on our live show, I was seeing like 1,200, 800, 900. Chris Smith says 764. Big Back says Ruggs is special. Totally agree with that. I even see an 869. For PFF, their predictions for the top 3 receivers, Henry Ruggs with 702 yards, Jerry Jeudy, 672.6, and then Justin Jefferson from the Minnesota Vikings at 624.3. I know that Ruggs is very talented, but remember, Mike Mayock even said it himself about three months ago. It's not easy for receivers to be able to come in right away and contribute. Ruggs is going to contribute in more ways than just stats. That's what I believe. But in terms of him leading all receivers, I'm going to give that one only 2 Chucky heads. Speaking of 2 Chucky heads, the Raiders going 9-7. Yeah, people are talking. This one's from NFL Network's Adam Rank, and basically what he did here was he went through every single one of the Raiders games and predicted whether they're going to win or they're going to lose. He did project them to go 9-7, and I thought it was interesting that he had them getting the number 7 seed in the playoffs, but also he had them finishing 3rd in the AFC West. So he actually has 3 AFC West teams making the playoffs. Now, before I show you which games Adam Rank projected to win and lose, I do want to know, and I want you to go on Facebook. I want you to go on wherever you see this video on YouTube, and I want you to scroll on down, and I want you to let me know, okay? How many games will the Raiders win this season? 9, 8, 10, 11? If you want to see how many I think, go check out my projections video. It's on the channel, youtube.com/Raiders Report. So let's get in now to Adam Rank's projections, where week 1 lost. So we're starting out 2-2, which actually my projection was the exact flop. They said we're beating Carolina and we're beating New England. Let's now go from weeks 5 all the way through week 8. Remember, the Raiders have a bye here in week 6. So Kansas City, that's a loss. Tampa Bay's a win, which I agree with. Cleveland is a loss, so, okay, you guys keeping track because I've already lost count. No, 3-4 is where we're at right now. Then let's go to week 9. Win, 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 loss. Okay, we're getting there. So right now we got 6 wins. Pretty interesting. Let's go now to the last 5 games of the Raiders season. This is according to Adam Rank from NFL Network. Loss against the New York Jets. I sure hope not. I'd love to be able to rub it in my dad's face this year. Week 14, Indy. I do project a win. Win. Miami, also a win. Week 17 at Denver has not been a very kind game for the Raiders, but it was a game that I think we could have won last year, and I'm hoping it's a game we can win this year. So I'll give you this opportunity to get this shirt one more time. So remember, if you buy this shirt or the Raiders Against the World shirt, you'll be able to come on the show Tuesday next week during our live show via Zoom. So 6:23, put it in your calendar. Go to chatsports.com/RaidersWorld or go to chatsports.com/Las Vegas. Both of those will be in the comment section. And then to come on the show so I can actually see the receipt, all you got to do is something simple. Just DM me the picture on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. So we did get some pretty cool NFL news. Now, I'll be honest. Do I watch the Pro Bowl? Not really. But I might actually this year because Allegiant Stadium is going to host the 2021 Pro Bowl on January 31st. If anybody's going to be in Las Vegas, if I can figure out a way to go to the Pro Bowl, guess what? I am definitely going to try to do it. So, do you guys think that the Raiders have the best helmets in the NFL? If you're like, yeah, the Raiders easily, 4 Chucky heads, have the best helmets in the NFL, I want you to like this video. So right now I'm watching us live. And on this live show, we only got 176 likes. So let's get this thing up to 200 likes because we have over 475 people watching. And I would imagine that every single person that's watching the show right now, whether you watch it live on Tuesday or if you watch it, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter. Because I guarantee you every person watching the show does think that the Raiders have the best helmets. And yeah, you know what? They do. This one's for Chucky heads, believe it, baby. I saw NBC Sports, they rank every single team's helmet from worst all the way to best. And the Raiders, they came out on top. And I love the quote that they have at the very end, where it's, they wouldn't make any changes to the Las Vegas helmets. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Now, don't get me wrong. I love sometimes when fans or whoever put out a cool Raiders, like new uniform, Raiders new helmets. I think change is okay sometimes. But let's get one thing straight. We got the best jerseys in the league. We got the best helmets in the league. We're about to have the best stadium in the league. Speaking of which, Madden 21 came out. I'm not much of a video game player. However, if you want to play video games against me, I might be able to get N64 Mario Kart linked up online, so hit me up. I'm always Toad. But Madden 21, basically, they put out like a new, I don't want to say tutorial video, a new trailer, that's the word. And basically it starts out with Vegas' stadium. So there's this picture, and then there's the one I was just showing, both of which are showing new Allegiant Stadium. I don't know about you, it gets me really, really hyped for the season because there's going to be a lot of badass tailgates here at these games, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to tailgate at every single one of them. And if y'all like the way that stadium looks, go ahead and like the video. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.